Every once in a while, a book comes by that changes my life and changes the way I think. But very rarely is there a book that I keep thinking about. A book whose lessons were so simple and easy to understand and profound that I find myself continuing to do the things and think about the book years later. And it's even rarer that the author recognizes the value of that book and puts it up for free. So this whole series of Fixing What Bothers You was really inspired by this book by Paul Akers. And I think we need to talk about it because it can change the way you live too, for the better. And it's free. Thank you, Paul. All right, day 5. 5 days, 5 tiny wins, and 1 book that changed everything. It's a numbers day. Boom, title card. I used to believe that the only way to achieve huge goals was with equally huge, massive action. Like you want to dig a hole, don't do little shovels every day, get an excavator. That to get anywhere in our life, you need these earth-shattering breakthroughs. But what if I told you the real secret to building incredible momentum lies in something as ridiculously small as making your bed? What, if you're gonna come up here, you need to come all the way up here. Do you want my seat? Here, come here, up, all the way up, come on, up. No? You up or don't? Okay. No, my screen got, okay. My notes. Look, I was skeptical about this too. I mean, it sounds almost insulting to our ambition, right? Like, how can a 2-minute task possibly measure up to a 10-hour workday? Have you seen how hard people don't work over a 10-hour workday? It's pretty crazy. It feels like a cheap productivity platitude, the kind of thing that you'd see on a motivational poster and immediately roll your eyes at. But this idea, this philosophy of small wins continued to pop up. And I knew the other way didn't work. I knew like trying to do a massive big project, like, swing for the moon, take massive actions, short-term massive action plan, all those things didn't give me the long-term results that I want and need. So I figured I'd do an experiment. 100 days of small actions. I committed to 5 tiny, almost insignificant wins to see what would happen. And honestly, the 5 days completely flipped how I approach my work, my creativity, and my life. It all started with 1 short, free book that turned everything I thought I knew about progress on its head. Boom. All right, section break. Section 1, why am I doing this? Look, before we get into this day-to-day thing, you have to understand the why behind it. How many times have you ended a day feeling completely drained, like you were sprinting every single second, but when you look back, you can't point at a single thing you actually finished? And in fact, like your house in your living area looks worse off than it did before the day. You can't point to a single thing you actually finished. Your big projects feel just as far away, but now your apartment's a wreck, you have no clean clothes, there's a mountain of dishes, staging a coup in your sink, and it's starting to get violent, and you're treading water, and the tide is coming in fast. That's all the metaphors, just smashed together, just for you. Look, that was me though. I was chasing massive goals, building a business, creating content, finding work. I don't want to say being unemployed, but that was like a full-time job. Like applying for jobs was like full-time work. And none of the benefits, right? I didn't even make minimum wage. But can you hear those birds? They're going nuts. The daily chaos of my life was winning. It felt like a game of whack-a-mole. I'd focus on my big work project, finishing my book or something like that. And then my personal life would implode or explode. I'd spend a weekend cleaning and making progress on the yard and the farm, and then I'd feel guilty about not grinding on my real goals. And I was in this constant state of feeling behind and feeling like I was failing on all the fronts, which not a great way to feel. So look, this whole thing isn't about cramming more into my day. It's about changing my entire operating system. So I built this system called the Make 5 method. Okay, that's linked below. but it's based around the idea that to get things done and make meaningful change in your life and the lives around you, and to be embrace what makes you uniquely human in this world that's becoming more and more automated, mechanized, AI driven, that we need to make time, make space, make do, make peace, and make a difference. The idea is that a productive, fulfilling life isn't about demolishing your to-do list. It's about creating a holistic system where you can be uniquely and beautifully and wonderfully human. So all of this is going to dovetail together. So stick with me for just a minute. So to make time, what that means is carving out intentional time for what matters and not losing time to the things that don't matter. Make space. That's really what I've been hitting the first 5 days of this challenge. Designing my environment to serve me and not sabotage me. Make do with what you already have and get started now. Keep it simple. Be effective. Step, step, step. Take the next step towards the mountain. Make peace, letting go of what you can't control and decluttering your mind. Understand, make peace with your past. Get excited about your future. Make peace with where you are now and make a difference. Originally, it was make money, but I think make a difference matters more. And if you can do those two things, more power to you. Look, my problem wasn't a lack of ambition, and it wasn't a lack of motivation, and it certainly wasn't a lack of effort. It was a lack of foundation. I was trying to build a skyscraper on quicksand. I don't even know if I was on sand. I was just like building it in the air like in a Minecraft world and just would keep falling down. The first 5 days of this experiment was my attempt to just start digging and try and find solid ground. Section 2, title card. I just like my face for these, so I don't even need the title cards, I don't think. Look, the title cards take more time to do than everything else. It's wild. Okay, so the book that inspired the action plan, and it's this book that has stuck with me for years. Okay, so the catalyst, the spark, the inciting incident, the doorway of no return, the thing that drove all this is a book called 2 Second Lean by Paul Akers. The core idea is almost insultingly simple. Fix what bothers you, or fix what bugs you. That's it. It's not a complicated 12-step program. It's just a mindset. The philosophy is our days are filled with tiny points of friction, delays, irritations, and these nearly invisible annoyances we've just learned to tolerate. They're like little little energy vampires. A squeaky door, a disorganized drawer, a charging cable that's always slipping behind the desk, a cluttered desk, a messy room. Individually, these things aren't much, but when you add them up, they're like 1,000 tiny paper cuts on your time and attention. And it creates this constant low-grade drag on your energy and focus, and it makes you more susceptible to the lies that we're constantly bombarded with, which I'll just frame vaguely right now as consumer culture, right? This idea that you're not enough and to solve your problems, you need to buy something new. No matter how much you buy, you still have the same problems, and maybe more problems, right? Look, but the idea of 2 seconds, Paul, where does that come from? So Paul Akers' challenge is to make just one, tiny, 2-second improvement every day. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour project. It can be just a 2-second fix. Something that's so small it's almost laughable. But the genius of this is that it completely short circuits procrastination. How can you possibly put off something that takes 2 seconds? Okay, I get it. Usually it's like 2 minutes and maybe more, but like to get started, just 2 seconds. For like catching up on my laundry after my trip, I didn't tell myself like, time to do all this laundry till it's done, because that sucks. No one wants to do that. Instead, I was like, yeah, I'll just fold this thing on top. Oh, and then once I folded that, I was like, I might as well do the next one. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then that started happening with my life. Like I made my bed. Might as well do the dishes too. And now I woke up, got my kids to school, spent just 20 minutes cleaning stuff back up, and bang, on. It's nice in here. All right. So, can't put it off. It's so simple it actually works. It's like building a wall. You don't magically have a wall. You lay one brick perfectly, and then the next. Actually, if you've ever built a wall, most of it is like getting the foundation proper. You know what I'm talking about. But so many things in life are like that. You got to get the proper foundation before you start putting everything together. So if you're building a wall, it's one brick. and then another brick, and then another, and the next, and the next. And the 2-second lean method is about obsessing over laying that one tiny, perfect brick each day. And if it's not right, adjust it, fix it. Because here's what happens. That small act of completion sends a signal to your brain. It's a little shot of dopamine in there, a little chemical reward that says, hey, we did a thing. That felt good. And this isn't just theory. Neuroscience shows that achieving even minor goals triggers this response, creating a motivation feedback loop. And I will say personally and anecdotally, this has been the most anxiety reducing antidepressant activity I've ever done, is having these small goals and these like daily steps. And it's the opposite of like all these little things like stacking against you. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we're starting to stack these things for us. Each tiny win builds this psychological momentum and making the next action feel easier. You're not just cleaning a counter, you're proving to yourself on a neurological level, a chemical level, a behavioral level that you're a person who gets things done. Boom. Title card, section 3. 5 days into my experiment. So with this new philosophy buzzing in my head, I started my 5-day challenge. This is something you could do too, and my only rule was to nail one tiny win each day and just see what happens. Right, what I told myself is just fix something that bothers you. And the worst thing that happens is 100 days from now, you have 100 less things bothering you. That's pretty amazing. All right, so day one, I made my bed. I know, making your bed. It's the ultimate productivity cliche. Clean your room, make your bed. But I started here on purpose. My bedroom was a zone of low-level chaos, and waking up to an unmade bed, or going, you always wake up to an unmade bed, but going to bed in an unmade bed felt like ending the day with just this visual clutter. And then every time I went in my room and saw an unmade bed, it was like just something else I had to do. And it was actually kind of tiring. So I started, instead of starting the day with visual proof that I was behind, I started the day with visual proof that I was getting it. Look, the first days it took minutes to make my bed. Now it's like 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds. Something clicked though, and as I walked out of the room and saw order instead of chaos, this tiny little island of calm, this one small act of control made me feel more in charge. It didn't magically do my work for me, of course not, but it changed the tone of the morning. The win wasn't the bed. The win was starting the day with an intentional act of creating order. And I did it for me. Like, it made my life better. Day 2. Clearing desk and laundry. Day 2 and 3 in my head are kind of a blur. I'd have to watch the videos, but these were the main things. So the laundry mountain, we all have that one chore that looms over us. For me, it's laundry. I like washing laundry. I like drying laundry. And sometimes I'm okay folding it, but bringing it from the folded pile to put it away, there's something about that I don't like, and I put it off. But if everything else is clean, it's like, oh, this laundry's here, they got to take it. Anyway, I got back from a trip and I had a lot of laundry to do. The pile of clean but not put away clothes on the chair, this chair, or the bed, which is over there, it was like a monument to my procrastination. Every time I looked at it, I felt a little pang of guilt, a little nagging item on my mental to-do list. So second day in, I tackled it. I didn't even do all the laundry in the house. I just folded that pile. It took 15 minutes. And then silence. Sweet, blessed silence. The nagging voice in my head just stopped. That was pretty cool. I had removed a source of recurring stress, and even though I needed to recur my recurring removal, it was kind of nice to do. Might as well do it sooner rather than later. Again, it's these small victories. It's not about positivity. It's about subtracting negative energy and what bothers you. The next day, clean my desk. This desk. It was bad. It was real bad. My desk is my command center. This is where I work. I create, I plan, I dream, I make. I wanted to be able to sit down, hit record, and go, because I'm also working on finishing up an audiobook. It had become a dumping ground for mail, for task lists, for empty mugs, random sticky notes, more cables than I knew I had. It was pure visual noise and sometimes auditory noise. Trying to do deep work here was like trying to meditate at a rock concert. I mean, you could do it, but it's just going to be a lot more work. The friction was real. So for my third win, I took 10 minutes. Okay, it was like hours. I took more in it. Well, it was like 30, 40 minutes. 30, 40 minutes. It was more than 2 seconds, but I cleaned it. And then I took all the things I took off my desk and I put those away or got rid of them. Well, I wiped it down, I reorganized it, my pens are gone, and the next time I sit down to work today, it made a huge difference. It was stunning, really. There was nothing pulling at my attention. My mind was as clear as my desk, and the one thing I had to do before doing this video, I took care of it. So creating physical space also made mental space. Okay, look, momentum is all about stacking these wins. After 4 days of clearing clutter, I felt a real shift, and that was the resistance to my creative work. I still had this big scary monster of make a video, but really it's just make a video when I fix something that bothers me. And I wanted to be able to just sit here and hit record and have the audio work, I hope, and make it look like I'm not reading my notes. My notes are here, you're there, computer's up here, I don't even need to look at that. And maybe a bird will fly by, it'll give us something to look at. I don't have to make a masterpiece. I just have to shoot for 60 seconds. So my phone's here. I've been using my phone because my GoPro is a pain in the butt and always overheats. I don't know what it is with those, but I don't think I'll buy another one. Speaking of things that bother you, look, that's it. The first video for my 5 days, it took me 16 hours to do. The next one took 12 hours to do. The next one 10, the next one 8. And I'm about an hour and a half into this one with all my prep work, and I'm getting close. And this one's going to be easier to edit. Oh, there's a bird. This one's going to be easier to edit than the other one. Look, so here's the video. This is for you. This is the you part. So I set this frame with these anecdotal stories in order to make this thing for you. 100-day starter kit or a 1-day starter kit, right? Start with something small. Start with something you can do. Something you can. Oh, this is nice. I like resting on it. Something you can handle. All right, so after just 5 days, I'm sold. I'm in this to win this, and maybe my 100-day challenge will turn into a 1,000-day lifestyle change. It's not a fluke. It's a system for building continual momentum, and it's so simple. We're going to turn that audio down. It's so simple. You can start right now. In fact, I want you to join me. Look, first and most importantly, check out this book, 2 Second Lean. There's a print version, a digital version, which is free, and an audiobook, digital audiobook, which is also free, which is amazing. I'll put the link down below. Grab these things. They're free. Paul puts them up. The owner of the books, the guy who wrote them at his company, put them up because it's a great entry point. And actually, I read all his other books too. Go grab it. Download it. There's no barrier to entry. Literally free, and the link's down below. So do it. All right. Second, start making a it bugs you list, or just mental notes or physical notes of like the things that bother you for the next few days. What is annoying? Is it the messy car or cluttered desktop, annoying notification sound? You don't have to fix them yet, but just start noticing them. Maybe it's your coffee, the beans, the whatever. I'm just thinking through everything, and I'm looking around my room like there's some things that bother me. And it's not about being an obsessive compulsive perfectionist. It's about removing all these little things that get in the way so you can just smooth sailing, man. If all you see are green lights, you're going to travel further than if you're continually stopping and hitting potholes and all these other things. So step one, the book, read it, listen to it. It's free. What else are you doing? It's going to be better than doom scrolling. Trust me, I've done both. Start paying attention to things that bother you, and then start your sprint. Pick 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5. I've done 5 days and things have made a difference. So I'm going to keep going. Maybe 10 days, maybe 100. Commit to fixing just one thing. You don't have to document it. Like filming this stuff takes longer than actually doing it. The goal is consistency, not intensity. And then share it. Take a before and after photo. Shoot a video. No, shoot a short video. Commit to fixing just one thing. Document it. I don't know. Maybe there's hashtags for these things. I don't hashtag. I'm old. Look at me. I have a beard and I don't have any hair. I'm so old. I'm so old the AI tells me what to hashtag. Thanks, AI. Anyway, but this is for you. You can share it if you want, but I think you can just start changing your life a little bit for the better. And I've also taught my kids to do this, which is great. They're like, it's annoying. My backpack just has to be here and I can't reach this hook very well. And I'm like, you know what? That's a valid point. Let's fix that. So we figured out where to put their backpacks when they walk in and made this thing easier. And now the environment complements the things they want to do instead of working against them, and coming home and unloading their bag and checking for work and making sure they have a snack for the next day. Like all this stuff just happens. It's not like pulling teeth out of a vampire T-Rex. So let's put it all together. We're bringing it back here. It turns out big goals aren't achieved in giant leaps. They're achieved by 1,000 tiny, consistent, almost invisible steps. And they're built by making your bed, cleaning your desk, folding your laundry, shooting 60 seconds of video, or writing the next paragraph of your book. You don't have to write even a page. Whatever your thing is, whatever you're working on, just little things that get in the way, get rid of them. So my challenge to you is simple. Don't just change your whole life tomorrow. Just fix one small thing that bugs you. Fix it. Your life will be better. That's your first win. And then you do it again. And you build this wall one brick at a time. Or you take down the walls that you built accidentally. Or you move the walls around. Maybe you build the walls you want and you take down the ones you don't want. Look, it's so simple. Just fix a little thing. It can literally take 2 seconds. So let me know in the comments below, what's one thing that bothers you? What are you going to fix? I want to hear about it. Grab the free book, like and subscribe so you can see all these things that I'm fixing. Start small, start now, and watch what happens. It's going to be cool. And if you just want to sit on your phone and do it, watch me do it. All right, so that was it. That's where this came from. I'm re-listening to that book today. I actually have a few things caught up for the first, feels like the first time in my adult life, and I'm only 5 days into this challenge. I have to build a fence. I'm gonna go build a fence now that I have time to do that. That'll be a good video.